best
his
bros.
brother was his best man, but he went up to my brother and asked my brother to be his best man.
I wasn't so keen on like the wedding ceremony terminology. So every guy I asked to be my best man.
Hi, I'm Selena Amber.
I am Griff.
And this is the I See Your Point podcast. Episode 2.
Episode 2.
His favorite number.
2. 2 is my favorite number.
Yes.
2.
That's what is under my chin, yeah.
My angel number.
Yeah. It's been 2 weeks since we recorded the last podcast.
Isn't that interesting?
2. I had the goal of recording every week. It's just that last week we record on Sunday nights and I was out of town. I was in Mexico. So
yeah,
I guess a week ago from today.
Just she was in Mexico, not
he
me.
Was not in Mexico.
I stayed home.
Held down the fort.
Held down the fort. I was going to say manned the fort. I'm like, is that accurate? And then you said held down the fort. Yeah.
You took care of Artex while I was away. I was with my family. Last time, if you heard our first episode, we didn't get this room. If you're listening, we are in a room that we practiced in, but we last episode 1, had to film in the room with the pink chairs.
Yeah, so for now, we're just kind of using what we've got access to. We're working with what we've got to bring you this freaking epic, fire, highly entertaining content.
I feel like we have to I personally have to take like a deep breath because it was a bit chaotic coming down here.
Oh, why wouldn't it be chaotic in downtown LA? No, the most peaceful place on the planet.
This is a little tangent side note, but like sometimes on the TV, or all the time on the TV, we put those like YouTube screensaver stuff on. And a lot of the time it's like the city night view, which is like
at night it's the city night view. We try to capture the vibe of the day.
Yeah, so when it's morning we put like a nice peaceful lake with some nice jazz, because sometimes the piano has like a very like sleepy mood and it's like, okay, we're trying to be very upbeat.
I'm picky about the music that plays.
I'm picky about when it's a certain time, it's like, oh, we need to change the...
Like you're not allowed to put, like if it's a sunny day, like you can't put the rain one on and try and catch a rain vibe. Like it needs to match the tone of the day.
Although I will say lately I've been getting a little ahead of myself because we're in August and it's super hot. Like in LA, like it's hot, but I've been sneaking the fall ones.
People in other states are like, it's hot here too.
I know. I like literally today was like, it's so hot, and then I'm thinking
it's
of my
midsummer, so
in Arizona who's probably like rolling her eyes. But
yeah.
Anyhow, to say the city view, in theory it looks beautiful, but like everything that comes with it out here in LA is just like ridiculous. There was helicopters. You decided to have a vision that...
I didn't decide. Does anyone decide to have a vision?
I thought it'd be funny to word it that way, but no, you had...
It came to me and I felt like it was good to share it. That way we can be prepared.
It worried me because, when someone tells you like, we need to talk, it's like, what? Just spit it out. Like you got me like really anxious now, trying to guess what the heck you could be saying.
I did kind of take a second to say it.
He did. He was in the kitchen.
Sometimes people can like speak sort of slowly and it's like, just say it.
So he was like, I have a vision. I feel like I need to, like, this is literally what he's saying. And I feel like we need to bring it up now. We just need to like get it out of the way and like be prepared for it. And he's like making it this big thing. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but were you setting it up that way because you know how I can be if I get like disappointed with like things not going my way, which, side note, I wanted to retract or like revisit something I said in episode 1. But before I continue that, would you say that's why you wanted to prepare me?
Yeah, I just wanted it to be said out loud because I saw a vision of us not being able to find parking, and all day long, we knew that we wanted to come and film this episode and record, and I didn't want us to be disappointed if we drove all the way down here
because we live in LA and parking's hard.
Couldn't find fucking parking, and then had to just turn back and just
So
whatever. But
we didn't find parking in the parking structure. He was correct. You had a vision of all the stalls being full, essentially, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
And they were. And so right now we're parked in a loading only zone. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, hopefully we don't walk out to a ticket.
No,
you know what? I'm not getting a vision of a ticket though, so I think we're gonna be good. We'll be all right. We just finished eating In-N-Out.
Oh, so like I said in the podcast last time, I said like, oh, I've worked really hard on having to prepare myself if things don't go my way. And like after hearing it back, I'm like, oh, maybe I came across kind of like as a brat, which sometimes I can be. However,
we all can.
We all are from Home Alone. But what I really meant is like sometimes I just get fixated on like a vision of things panning out a certain way. And when they don't, it's like very almost like a malfunction, like hardwire internally, not necessarily like I'm going to outwardly cause.
That's like a massive level of overwhelming disappointment that's challenging for her to navigate or tolerate or deal with. Whereas some other people, I've gotten better at this, so I get it, but I've gotten so much better at just being like, whatever, fucking, it is what it is.
I work hard on like planning certain things.
Yeah,
and so when you put a lot of effort into something and it doesn't go your way, you have to be able to be flexible and adjustable. But that's been something that I've had to work on because before it was like, no, like, almost end of the world.
I mean, because otherwise, like, everything's pretty much like there's so much stuff that you can attempt to have go your way, but like in reality, so much shit is just completely out of your control. And I think one thing that helped me a lot with that was just deciding to believe, and this could be corny or not. I don't care. I'm using it to my benefit. Is just deciding that everything does work out for me. So even if the thing I thought I wanted to have happen didn't happen, it's actually still secretly working out to my benefit anyways. So I just kind of write it off as that. And the intention is to just like not have high levels of stress or any of those other negative emotions that come from stuff like that. Like I really feel like I used to be somebody who suffered from just so many of the heavy negative emotions, and I prioritize like eliminating as much of them as possible.
Which reminds me of what you said to me today, because sometimes in certain situations the roles kind of reversed. Well, we were in the In-N-Out line today. Do you remember?
Oh,
so
yeah.
Long story short, actually, I'm not going to probably make it that short. We got In-N-Out tonight.
We don't always. So normally we go to the In-N-Out that's closest to where we live.
Yes.
And there's not. There's never been a problem at that In-N-Out. There's really never been a problem at most of them, but that line at the one that we were closest to that's by us was just crazy long. It was just intolerably long.
The line, like on foot, when you get out of your car, was longest we've ever seen it. And
it was like into the street. So we were like, fuck that. Yeah. We're not waiting in that line. We would rather drive to a further away In-N-Out.
Even though like we know the time.
To roll the dice.
Yeah, and the time.
Yeah, it's possible the amount of time it actually took us in the In-N-Out that we ended up at, in addition to the amount of time it took to drive
and drive back.
Like maybe was debatably around the same amount of time if we had just stayed at the original location, but it was like crammed to like the energy was wrong. So we were just like, fuck this, we're gonna go somewhere else. We went to a location that we had gone to one other prior time. It's frustrating because this In-N-Out is in like a shopping mall center area, like strip mall. But so there's like a parking lot that like intersects with the line
that's on the street.
That's on the street that builds up to go into the In-N-Out. And there's like two different entrances and exits, like driveways for you to get into regular flow traffic. But the In-N-Out line is like, it's obvious the cars that are in the freaking In-N-Out line. Last time we were at this In-N-Out. This car was seemingly looking like it was attempting to exit the driveway, and this young lady,
my blood is boiling already,
was not exiting the driveway. She thought she was slick.
And the car in front of us already chose not to let her exit.
Yeah, so then the dice roll ended up landing on us.
He's the
whether
driver.
Or not to let this person execute their move, which until I put enough space with the vehicle, I didn't know if she was gonna pull out of the driveway and go into regular traffic or not. And then I gave her enough space to do that move, and then she just cut in line.
When there's like, I don't want to exaggerate, but was there at least 4 people behind us?
Sure, yeah, there was around like 4 people or so behind us in line.
And it's not like...
So not only cut me, to everyone behind me made it look like I was allowing that to happen, which I wasn't. I was being courteous to allow this person to exit the strip mall parking lot area, not get in front of me.
And we had been like on a drive, and there was just a lot of bad drivers leading up to this moment. So I think it was like building up for me.
Oh yeah, that was a bad energy night.
Yeah, and I think I was getting secondhand anxiety maybe from your...
Probably, yeah.
It wasn't like reactions. Like it wasn't like you were overreacting to all the drivers.
It's true that there was a lot of stupid idiots around driving on that particular night. And I was, after X amount of incidences, like I'm human. Like I'm going to start to get freaking bothered.
And I can tell when it's bothering him. And it wasn't like you were over the top, but it was just building up for me.
Yeah.
So then this is probably like maybe the 4th or 5th moment that happened that night.
Yeah.
And so I did something that I've like never done.
I was shocked.
I was almost like, it's not that I was going to ask you for permission.
Selena likes when I like honk the horn.
She
likes when I use the horn in traffic incidences where she deems
that the other driver is in the wrong.
To use the horn, which I rarely do. But I like to honk the horn for fun.
I hate when he does that.
To like wave at random people.
He did that
or
today.
Or just to like play like a little horn beat, like a bing, bing,
I'm like,
bing.
what are you doing? But no,
like for no reason. Like that's when I honk the horn, but she hates when I do that.
He will never actually honk the horn.
Rarely.
We almost got hit the other day and he didn't even honk the horn.
Rarely. Yeah, that was a high adrenaline moment also.
And my new car almost got hit. But I think that was more of like a delayed reaction. My car as well, delayed reaction.
Yeah, so this young lady cuts in front of me in the In-N-Out line.
And I take my seatbelt off and I wanted to be like...
Well, no, first you reached across me and honked the horn.
I forgot that part.
And that like wasn't enough. Like 2 seconds later, next thing I know, Selena has her seatbelt off and she is out the door.
I didn't even think.
Of the car. And I was like, oh shit, that escalated fast. I've never seen her react so aggressively. But I was honestly, as I watched it unfold, like I was chilling. I was like, wow, like I'm kind of proud of her. Normally I'm the one that she has to watch to like make sure I'm not gonna, and I never, for the record, I never really have, but it's right there for me. I'm on edge a lot of the time, especially in the past.
Yeah. I remember telling you, like, I'm getting out. Like, I wanted to ask, like, can I? Because I think in the past, again, not that I needed permission from you, but in the past, you've made comments like, don't run your mouth too crazy where it gets us into some trouble. And then like, it can lead to something bad. You know what I'm talking about?
Like, dude, shit can escalate fast, especially for dudes.
I mean,
especially for dudes. You don't know who's carrying a freaking weapon or a gun.
I just got out and like demanded that they roll their window down. And then I was basically like, what are you doing? Again, I had high adrenaline. Yeah. So after this occurred, we talked about it. And like, he was like, oh, you could have done this. And I was like, that would have been more cool, calm, and collected. It's
so hard to be cool, calm, and collected in the moment when you experience adrenaline and You're just, you're reacting to something.
But I didn't respond. I reacted.
Yeah, I mean, the goal is obviously to always attempt to respond. But given the circumstance and the things that occurred prior to that, as far as a buildup of us trying to tame our reaction, and then that was like the cherry on the icing? Cherry on top? The cherry on top?
Just say cherry on top.
Freaking, that was like the straw that broke the camel's back.
And, I know I haven't finished telling the story, but just to add really quick, like looking back, like I'm actually proud of that moment. Like if you were
So am I. I actually was also proud.
Because as I'm getting older, I'm finding my voice and like standing up for myself and stuff. So I feel like, when you're learning to do that, there's like a spectrum where like you maybe have always been here and then like you're learning to go this way, like you went really far that way, like to the other side of the spectrum.
It was like one of those moments that was like, hey, I'm a fucking person and like you can't just walk on me.
Yeah.
And if nothing happened from that person cutting us off like that may seem to anyone else like a shoulder brush deal or like not that big of a deal, but you never know what someone's day has been and where they're at in life and what's going on. And so if we let that slide.
That one, I just couldn't let it slide.
We just couldn't let that one slide. Especially her, it's like, and if you did, it's like, you probably would have felt so much worse about yourself.
I mean, I said we couldn't let it slide, but it was me. Because if I didn't get out, you wouldn't even have honked or done anything. You would just let it happen, right?
Honestly, I'm not really sure, but most likely I probably would have just been like, go fucking figure. Especially as a guy, like, that's why I'm saying, like, as a guy, I don't know how it feels more capable for women to get into these back and forths, but I've just seen and witnessed so much road rage and so much just in general, like with guys, like stuff will escalate fast. And I just like not worth it for the most part.
More of the
like
story.
It's really just not. What if some dude all of a sudden gets out and like bashes in your headlights or your windshield? And some people are like, well, you get his license plate. It's like, bro, I'm just so not interested in any of that bullshit. Like, it's too much. You never know who's carrying like I said, a gun or a weapon. Like, you really don't. But with women, I'm just saying, it's like, you guys don't really get too gnarly. Like, you'll yell and you'll express yourselves and it might get a little loud, but like, there's not a whole lot of like gnarly women fights or like weapons getting drawn with chicks. So it's like once she, I think, saw that it was a woman and once I also saw that it was a woman, I was like, oh, I'm chilling. I'm good.
There's like two ways it could have been. It could have been that like she blatantly knew what she was doing.
She knew what she was doing, and that's what the problem
I feel like in this encounter that I'm about to explain, like I felt like she even like convinced me that I was in the wrong, even though I knew I wasn't in the wrong. There's two things that it could be. It could be that, she blatantly knew what she was doing and she didn't care. Or two, like it could be cluelessness. But in that situation, like there's signs that say
no
drive-through access.
When you're doing that move, like, you know what you're doing. Dude.
So I get out of the car, I make her roll her window down. I'm like, what are you doing? You put in front of us, like get in the back of the line, right? And then she kind of like scoffs at me and she's like, oh, I didn't know it was that serious for a burger. And I was like, if it's not that serious, get in the back of the line. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
For that to be the thing like, that was like, bro, like you're trying to say that our reaction to you blatantly cutting us in line, which is so fucking rude, by the way. You're not only cutting me, you're basically pulling in front of everyone and saying this, I'm entitled to this.
Entitlement.
And
I said
flipping us off, basically.
I said that to her.
That's like, yeah, you did say that. And so to try and demean our reaction to, I didn't know it was that serious for a burger, is like, yeah, it's not. So get in the back of the fucking line where you should have gone because it's not that serious for a burger. So go back into your spot where everyone else was fine being and wait your turn.
So I should mention she was on speakerphone with a friend. Who I didn't remember this part until right now. That's why I started laughing.
Yeah, this part too was just so dumb.
I told her that I have the right of way. And then she's like, no, it's like, it's common courtesy and common decency that like I was supposed to be able to go. And like,
yeah, that's if you're getting on the freeway on an on-ramp and it turns into like the zipper thing. You know what I mean? Like each car goes in front of the other car and it's like a zipper type of a move, is how she was trying to say that that's what the common courtesy was. It's like, no, it wasn't. You know, you came into that parking lot with the intention of cutting in line right there. And you like, that was your intention the whole fucking time.
So then back and forth, she's calling me names. So I'm sure I called her a name in response, but I didn't start name calling until she threw the first stone or whatever. Right. So then eventually, I won't say bullied her, but it was persistent.
She was adamant and persistent. Like, no.
Which if I was her, I'm just fucking rolling my window up and being like, no, bitch, right? Because if you were gonna do that behavior to begin with, like, why are you still even like entertaining me yapping at your window?
And I think it would be a different thing too if it was a scenario where someone cut in front and they were like, hey, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
I'm late for something, or like, oh, my wife is at home with the baby and she hasn't eaten. Is it okay if I cut in front of you and I'll pay for your meal, or like whatever it is? It's like, cool.
Even if she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you were letting me go.
Yes.
It would be like, oh,
even
okay.
There was like, all right, you're fucking dumb.
But she doubled down.
But,
I got her to go to the back of the line.
Yeah, so eventually she did leave the spot that she cut in front of us and did go to the back of the line.
However,
but there was like 3 or 4 cars behind us, but in her process of doing it, she felt like it was necessary to be like, there's only like 3 or 4 cars, you fucking bitch. It was like, she just was frustrated. I think that she got called on her shit and knew she was in the wrong. And yeah, the whole time she was on the phone with her friend.
Which I don't know who the fuck her friend was. And then all of a sudden, some girl, she comes like walking along on the street, walking alongside the drivers. Who's the bitch? Who's the bitch that whatever? Like, who called you a bitch? Who called you a bitch? Like, she's literally, and then I literally go over to the window and I was like, it's me.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Yeah, I saw that occurring as well. And I just put my window down because I was like, what? Let's go. You're not going to really, I know you're not about to come and like say a bunch of shit like to me, but Selena started piping up again.
She had like tattoos again, fucking, it doesn't mean anything, but like she just had like the lipstick tattoo on her chest, above her boob and everything. And then she starts yelling like at me, but he's kind of like obviously defending me. And then she just leaves because I think
she was like, what's your problem? She was like, something like, what's your problem, bitch? She was just right behind me.
Yeah.
And I was like, if she was right behind you, why is she not still right behind you then?
Yeah, it was just
like, again, you're just like searching for a way to defend the move that you were trying to pull off. It's like, it's not cool.
This girl that we're referring to, she was in line apparently like 6 cars ahead of us.
Yeah, this girl got out of her vehicle in the in and out line to come and trek the line to like get involved.
So if she was in the line and her friend was right behind her, how did her friend end up all the way in the side of the parking lot?
It was.
So I think I brought this.
Yeah, that wasn't tonight, by the way. Like tonight we ended up at that location again. And so upon going there, we were like, oh, wow, remember the last time?
So I was already anticipating that. So I think I already had some energy. So then we get into the line and then I think I'm trying to hurry. So then like basically like cars are doing dumb things, turning to get in the line. And I'm like, no, don't let them go, cut them off. And then he was basically saying like, you should be kind of glad and grateful that I'm chill and I'm calm and I'm not the opposite or how I used to be.
Fuck, that's true. I mean, I am.
And I was like, oh shit, like I'm over here like in your ear, like, no, honk, cut them off, don't let them in, which are like all behaviors that are like, could lead to those types of like incidences and occurrences.
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you, I'm just like not, it's like there's so many big parts of me that like really wanna do the bad things, like do the violent reactions. But I just also am so aware that, bro, like having a record and doing jail time or ending up in prison for stupid shit is so not worth it, and it's expensive. And even if you don't end up in prison for stuff, like just the damage to like your vehicle, or if all of a sudden you get into like a serious fist fight, it's like, bro, I work out really hard every day. The last thing I want is to like fuck my wrist up or catch like a knee injury in a street fight. Now I can't go work. It's like, bro, it's like all of that is so not worth it to me, even though I can admit, like, I want to see the person that's wrong, like,
receive justice.
oh, okay, that's a nice way.
I know, I cut you off before you can say anything else.
Selena put it very nicely. Receive due justice. And so, like, that's there. Like, I do want that. But it's more important to me that me and my wife get home safe. I get home safe. I don't have a freaking jail record or something worse. Like, those are all really not fun parts of life. And it can happen really fast out here. So I would rather just chill on a lot of that stuff.
And again, that was a very out of character, like not common reaction from me. And I can count on my hand the number of times I've ever like actually like stood up for myself and defended myself because where I needed to like actually like get into it with somebody publicly.
And I think it's good to do that. It's just like,
be measured.
If that's your MO is to stand up for yourself, like there's a more effective way to do it and still get the outcome that you want and that you like feel that you deserve. That's responding versus like reacting.
Mm-hmm. And so you're right.
But I'm proud of you. I think you did a great job. You handled it really well. I was shocked. I never saw her do something like that before. I've never seen her just unsnap her seatbelt and she's just out of the car all the way to the driver window, like having a back and forth. Because some people will like unsnap their seatbelt and get out of the car and like yell something out of the open door, and then they kind of like get back in their car.
No, I was like, I'm not backing down until she gets out of line.
Yeah, she did rip. And she did get out of line. that girl did leave the line.
And then just for funny, like just to mention this funny part, then she got out of line. Then she just ended up parking in one of the, she went back into the parking lot.
She did. Yeah, she did. Oh, that's right. After all of that, she just drove back into the strip mall parking lot and parked her car in a parking space.
And sat in her car with the like headlights on and everything. So then as like we ended up like moving further along in the line, like her like car is like side, like kind of pointing us, and I'm just not looking at her. But I did ask, some time had passed, and I ended up like asking a few people in my family, like, what would you have done? What would you have done? Like, I was very curious to hear.
Dude, I think no one would be cool.
No, but it was interesting.
Here's the thing too. Here's how you know what you did was the correct move also. And,
for me.
And I feel like fair is like, there's no way you can tell me that girl that did that, if the situation was completely reversed, she would have been like, oh yeah, no, that's fine. They have the right of common courtesy. Of course. They're like, no, bro, you would have been pissed. Like, you know that what happened was incorrect.
Yeah.
Like without question. So I always feel like if you just swap the circumstance and just check it that way, then that's like a good measure of like, yeah.
No, but it was just interesting to hear what of the people that I'm not going to go into it, but what the people I asked, how their responses were actually different. Like they said they would do something, but the responses were different than mine. So.
And it's also hard to weigh in on that when it's like in the moment versus like debating a behavior you would engage in, because I think so many of us would want to be like, oh no, like I would have fucking. It's like, I know you think that you would, but a lot of times,
it's funny.
Like, no,
I don't think I told the story to my cousin yet. Have I told Marissa? My cousin, like, I really want to know what she would have done in this situation, and when it happened, I purposely didn't tell her because I wanted to tell her face to face, but I really want to know what she would do because. I wonder if she'd be like, oh my God, like that would just give me anxiety. I would just let it go.
Dude, her cut, I feel like, no offense, Marissa, I feel like you would like melt into the seat.
I asked my niece, I asked my sister-in-law if my niece would have been embarrassed if she was in the car with me when I did that. And she was like 100%. I think I would have been embarrassed if I was in the car with you when you did that. Yeah. But anyhow, just really quick before I move forward, I did mention that I wanted to retract one of those things that I said, or like touch on it, and then you wanted to correct what you said about Grass Valley and Nevada Union.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah, I slipped on my shoelace there a little bit. Yeah, Grass Valley, Nevada City. Yeah, okay, whatever. If you saw episode 1, I accidentally called Nevada City Nevada Union, which isn't that big of a mistake because the high school up there is called Nevada Union.
But when he heard it back.
Yeah, like, we listened to it back and found all of our things that bothered us about ourselves.
It was fun editing and everything. So I'm just going to go right back to editing episode 2 tomorrow.
Yeah, shout out to your friend, Michelle.
Oh, yeah.
Who watched? That's cool.
Yeah, Michelle, we have
that made us feel good.
We had actually, like, when I looked at the stats of how many people listened to the podcast, like, there was more than 10. There was, like,
that's cool.
13.
Don't know who most of you guys are, but that's freaking cool. That feels.
And it said
that's cool.
It said that some people were or one person was in Oregon, so thank you. One person was in Las Vegas. Thank you.
Shout out Oregon, shout out Vegas. Let's go Raiders.
Okay.
That's where the Raiders are now and shit, right?
Someone was from San Diego and Whittier.
Let's go SD. Shout out Wes Watson. He does rep San Diego hard though.
Yeah, Chicago. Okay, so so now we are. I wanted to touch on the he like set up the phone, the camera, the tripod very well, put us in frame, and then I like walked over and just like stepped all over.
You didn't really mess that much up. You could have potentially, but I think your foot like stepped on top of the tripod leg. Like I spent all this time getting it perfect, and she just walks over in like 1 second and like potentially almost messes it all up. But it was fine.
I literally bust out into laughter. But it's very refreshing to like, make mistakes in the relationship and just like, I'm sorry, oh my God. Like I think in the past, like I think also like growing up with my dad, I love my dad.
I was gonna say, don't put that on me. That's the past. I don't think I really normally freak out about little stuff like that. But
that's why I was saying like I used to get like crazy anxiety just being passenger with you, like navigating you if something goes wrong.
Again, I love your father so much, but I think that part of that still is from like your dad.
Well, I just experienced that last week, but I love him.
Her dad's awesome.
No, and it wasn't even bad. Like
it's really not bad.
It wasn't even bad. Like, I have the thing of also like not wanting to be like make a mistake and get yelled at. And you mentioned in the last episode, like I have an authority issue.
Yeah.
So
for sure you do.
Right now, as we are recording this, it is August 11th.
Oh, shit.
Well,
That's
I guess
crazy.
It's technically the 10th. In less than 2 weeks, it'll be our 1-year wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
Which is really crazy.
I guess. I mean,
well, I guess just
I don't think it's that big of a deal to me because we were already together for 8 years before we finally got married. Mm-hmm. Whereas most people, I don't even feel like wait 2 years before they decide they're falling in love and get married. So
like falling in love is different, but getting married,
yeah,
we didn't wait 2 years before we found
in my mind, it's just like, yep, year 9, like we're ripping. Like, bro, the fact that we made it past year 5 is like we're good.
What I meant was like it's just been a year since the wedding. Like time has flown since that event.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Dang, the thing with the wedding too was like
went by.
You did a really good job with all the stuff, but it still went by. And people warned us, like,
everyone,
be careful, it's gonna go by fast. And it's like, fuck, it really does. I didn't even get to play cornhole. I didn't even get to play cornhole.
All of our guests love the cornhole.
With any of my best men, with anyone, period. It was like, damn, bro.
It's groomsmen. So,
fuck that. No,
funny
they're
story.
all my best men.
Funny story.
Those are my best
His
bros.
brother was his best man, but he went up to my brother and asked my brother to be his best man.
I wasn't so keen on like the wedding ceremony terminology of things.
I think
so. Every guy I asked to be my best man, and I was wondering why her brother gave me such a big reaction.
I think he knew.
And I was like, oh, that was like kind of sweet of him to like give me such a reaction. I just asked him to be up there with me. And then like a day or two later, she's like, did you ask my brother to be your best man? I was like, yeah. Fucking yeah. You knew that.
You knew.
And she's like, no, it's a groomsman. And I was like, oh, fuck, that's right. Only one dude is supposed to be the best man. Obviously, like, my literal brother is that guy. But, like, whatever.
So, yeah, you didn't get to play cornhole with your groom party. And I didn't either.
It goes by really fast because everyone wants to talk to you, which is cool. That's awesome.
And we didn't have a lot of guests either.
Not really, thank God. In between like speaking to the guests and trying to like catch a couple dances with each other, like the camera crew like need you over here, need you over there. So like it's just like
however, I mean, understandably, you're paying them to like get this footage, so they're like, we need to be able to get this footage. And
like,
so,
however long the wedding was, it felt like 30 minutes to me.
It was like I was up at like 7, 8. I didn't go to bed until like 3 a.m. doing my nails. And then I was up at 7 a.m., went to the venue to like decorate and set up, even though they told me not to because they were like, you're the bride, don't do it. And I was like, I planned this whole thing. I'm doing it. You know, like I need to go check out everything, which.
Yeah, you needed to make sure that your vision was coming to life.
Yeah, like again, coming back to like my vision and malfunctioning, like that wasn't oh my God, I was going to say, obviously with weddings, I was going to say that's not the day for things to go wrong, which I know weddings that was going to happen. So I just wanted to eliminate and minimize the things that were going to go wrong. And
you rightfully so, you wanted to give it your best shot.
And I had to stop myself, like literally the day after the wedding. I was like, I can put a checklist together of all the things that went wrong. And I was like, why? Why are you going to do that? Like, why are you going to, it's not going to serve you. So I was so proud of myself for not doing that. And because I didn't do that, I've kind of already forgotten about it. Although there's a couple that are popping up in my mind right now.
Overall, it was great.
Yeah.
And it is crazy that it's already like been almost a year. It makes me feel like, damn, a year just like that. But we say that for so many freaking things. And I don't know, lately I've just been working on myself a lot and like my vision for the future a lot. And I think Selena has too. And even like parts of this podcast is like, you know, this is episode 2, but it's like, wow, we just said we can't believe that our 1-year marriage anniversary is coming around and it's already been a year. I'm thinking things like, damn, I wonder where we're at with this podcast in a year.
Well, again, like I said, I want to record an episode a week. So it's like there's 52 weeks in a year. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So
allegedly.
Okay, so then cut that in half.
Yeah, 26.
That's it. I mean, I knew the math. I knew it was 26, but like, damn, I would only have 26 episodes a year from now. That seems like a little bit.
It does seem, yeah, fuck. It does seem like barely anything. But that's okay. It's fine.
I mean, I literally can't.
I can't
bang out more than that. It's just.
Yeah, I'm viewing every episode. Yeah, and who knows our ability to like crank out more. Yeah, we'll get there. I think every episode right now is just practice, is us just like having fun, flowing.
Practice.
Yeah, public practice. And we'll get there freaking eventually, man. But it is crazy how much can happen in a year, but also like how fast a year flies by.
For our honeymoon last year, it was amazing. It was like,
it was great.
It
really was good.
Was it our best vacation we've ever taken? I think so.
Like, yes, in a sense of, because then it's like, well then is going to Ohio to see my family a vacation? It's like, no, like that's not vacay. To me, like vacation is like
those were like
you and a person, or I guess another couple, whatever, however you rock it. Like go to a place you've never been before. Like you're exploring the world is like vacation. Like just going back home to where you were from or where your family might be. Like I'm not counting that as vacation.
Yeah, and then like
even though like kind of is, but not really.
So I think that was our best vacation. It was like perfect.
Yeah.
We went in September to Vancouver, but we are not gonna.
It's funny because like
I have no
know
idea
how much
why you're laughing.
Because I know how much Selena likes the rain. And what a reputation that Canada has for
Vancouver,
like gloomy, rainy weather.
Specifically Vancouver.
Yeah. And the whole time we were there, it was just like, so we dodged the bullet in LA of having like super severe heat wave here in LA while we were in Canada.
Amazing.
But while we were in Canada, zero fucking rain.
It was beautiful weather. Like
it was nice
beautiful weather. Which in retrospect, it's like, oh, it was probably best that we did have that weather because we would not have been able to experience the excursions with the beautiful weather the way that we did. But it was just like I was checking the weather like constantly for rain prior to arriving. And I thought it was really cool that the hotel rooms the closets have umbrellas in like every room.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And as soon as we left, like the week after, it just was like raining.
Of course. Right back to classic.
So we're going back this year later in the year so we can have me experience the rain.
Yeah.
I think I haven't booked it yet, but I think we're going during Christmas time. So that'll be really cool. I'm very excited for that.
It was a good time. I definitely liked it over there. Could have even seen myself living there just because the level of peace while still being like, I think I kept saying like, it's like being in downtown LA, except everything's clean. There's barely any trash, like literally in the gutters of the streets, like not even a wrapper to a straw. So it's like everything just feels nice, and the energy over there, I'm really sensitive to energy and stuff and environments. Like it just felt so peaceful, but it was a big city. So I was like, wow.
Yeah, but I also want to note that we definitely stayed away from East Hastings Street, which is like the Skid Row. Like,
sure. I guess there's like a street over there. This
section,
like compared to what you see in LA and downtown LA
and so
just
spread
other
out
parts of like the valley and Los Angeles is like, dude, this is nothing.
I mean,
this is totally tolerable from where we're coming from. So
but yeah, like it was really nice. We were there
it was nice
for like, I feel like it was only 4 days. It was quick, but 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But
that's why we want to go back.
Yeah, I want to go back. Want to do some of the same things, but then some new things.
Yeah.
We took a ferry last time.
Because that's kind of a hard decision to make sort of on a vacation is like when you enjoyed it so much the first time, it's like.
Well, you're going to just copy
and paste? Do you want to switch it up or like, are you trying to like capture the same thing you got last time because you liked it so much? Like, do you want to switch up everything or is it kind of like, maybe let's stay in the same hotel because that feels reliable.
So I used points for some of it. And so I split up the hotels. So like of the 4 nights we stayed, 2 were at one hotel and 2 were at the other.
Yeah.
And we would definitely stay at one of them again. Although the other one was nice.
They were both cool. But yeah, I think we both really liked the Pan Pacific.
Yeah, which is by Canada
There was just
Place.
Something like really charming.
And it was right across from like the port. And it was next to this restaurant that we went to multiple times.
Yeah.
That we like loved the employees there, and we
got
the other
dessert. Hotel. It was just like
it was nice.
It was a bit modern.
It was modern, and we're like
we like classic charm, like 90s vibe type stuff a little more. And this other hotel, like all the people that worked at that second hotel, they were so nice. They were so great and accommodating.
We were at my Winnie the Pooh tea. And I think we arrived at the hotel first and we're like, hey, can we leave our luggage here?
Yeah.
And then we can go to the tea And then they were like texting me on WhatsApp, like, oh, your room's ready when you come over.
Yeah, they like brought our luggage up for us.
They even let us put food in the fridge from the previous hotel to keep it like cool. It was really great.
They were very accommodating.
Like, how's your stay?
So like, no shade. It's just like, oh, our vibe was more the first.
But hotel. I definitely am glad we experienced it because it was like a nice tub. It was like the clear glass windows and everything.
I love how you like just got back from Rosarito, but you're like all literally today. She got back like 2 days ago and she's already planned a second trip to Mexico with her whole family again.
But this time we could see you. Oh, I hit my phone.
Yeah, I'll go this time.
Hit the mic.
I kind of tend to go like every other time.
I just love traveling now. I love vacations, which is funny because I used to be like afraid of flying.
Yeah.
But I'm already planning like when to go back to Ohio.
Yeah.
When I have plans to go to Vegas, but I'm not sure if that'll be able to work out. So we'll see. Our first year of marriage, I wanted to talk about like, you touched on it, but it's interesting how a lot of people have said like the first year of marriage is the hardest. And I truly feel it's been the easiest for us. But there has definitely been some hard years.
For sure. And it makes me feel like, yeah, why do people say that? But then I feel like the people that say that are the ones, and that's why I feel like, yeah, it's just year 9 for us. Like, technically it's our first year of marriage, but to me, it's like, I already was in that place, at that place with us, like before we even got married. Whereas like, I feel like other people who typically say like, oh, the first year of marriage is so hard is like, yeah, that's because you guys haven't like lived together for a long time. Or maybe you like haven't had certain conversations that maybe you should have before that happened. And I mean, we lived together for 8 years.
I didn't bring it, but there was like a book that I bought and it was like 101 questions you should ask your partner before getting engaged. And those are like hard-hitting questions that like we talked about, and we got into disagreements about some of them, but like ended up seeing eye to eye. But it was like, you know, you're 2 different people coming together.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time people don't live together before. Sometimes they do. One of the other things that I read was saying...
That's wild to me, dude. I can't even imagine. Like, I know that sometimes for religious reasons or whatever that people have that, like not living with their like spouse before marriage. That's like, or maybe even military or job stuff. But I'm just like, bro, like that's just crazy.
That's really crazy because I was going down like, I think it was like a thread on X, Twitter, of like crazy things that like, it was primarily males. Like females were writing about what they discovered their like partner was doing.
Sure.
And they were like, I got out of that relationship. Like
they got out, didn't just like digress, take a step back. Like it became, they had to get out.
Like it was like hygiene related crap. Like,
yeah, bro. I mean, that stuff is a big deal. Like,
wait, one of them was like, this girl was like, I literally saw him spit on the floor in the carpet at home. And I asked him why he did that. He said his whole family does it. I'm like, you're just spitting on the carpet? Or someone literally used the sponge to wash dishes to clean the toilet. Or just like, or she found out that like, he was like, oh, I don't brush my teeth. Like, I don't brush my teeth. Why not?
Just like straight up ever?
And then she said, why? And he was like, oh, because anytime I brush my teeth or floss, it bleeds.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it was just
that's like
I was
saying
fascinated.
Anytime you wipe your ass, it smells. Like, I don't wipe my ass. And every time I wipe it, it fucking smells. Bro,
I was fascinated by everything. And it almost made me feel like this is disgusting. I'm so glad I found you. Like, because like, I couldn't imagine, like, you know, some men, you don't even do this, but some men, like, they use like 2-in-1, like body wash, shampoo. And it's like, some girls are like, my man does not do that. Like, he uses like conditioner.
Bro, that's small stuff.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
But I just feel like it's like, dude, you said yes to marriage, like foreverness, before you were really like honestly prepared to affirm that. Like, I feel like people rush into like literally marriage so quickly. And I always have felt like, obviously, we didn't get married until after being together for 8 years and we were engaged for 4.
Part of that was because of 2020 and everything, and I didn't want the ceremony too close to like.
Okay, I guess. Sure. Yeah,
and then
sure.
and then after that,
but
then it was 2023, and we were gonna get married in 2023, and I just didn't want the invitations to have like an odd number on it because I wanted to be 2024, not 2023. But also, it was good that happened because the week of our wedding was in the Hurricane Hillary in California, and it rained so bad that weekend.
Oh our wedding venue, like day of marriage that year, would have been screwed.
Yeah, because it was an outdoor venue.
So that was like
there was a tent, but even from that
like
hurricane,
you made that decision based on not wanting a certain number.
Yeah, but
that's
what ended up happening.
A good idea to do that.
And so we ended up going to Mexico that weekend anyway, and then it was like, oh shoot, there's a hurricane and we're by the beach. Then
I'm just trying to say that I feel like people rush into those things, and here's the thing, like if you're gonna get married, like I think we could all collectively agree, you're supposed to do that once and be with that person, right, for the rest of your life. So it's like, what is the rush in finally making that decision? And I understand for some people, it's like kids might be in the equation. Even then, to be honest, it's like, bro, like don't rush into that stuff. If you feel like you're ready, that's how I felt. It was nice to like be engaged for those 4 years because I wore a ring the whole time. And I feel like sometimes guys don't. But the girl wears like the engagement ring, but the guy doesn't. Like the moment I proposed to her, like I was all about wearing my ring. So I already just felt like, yo, we're already married. Like when it came time to actually doing the thing and getting married, I already felt like we had been for so long. And I'm not going to lie and say like nothing changed when we got married. Like it did make me feel a lot closer to you. To finally actually be able to call you my wife, even though low-key the whole time, especially like year 6, year 7, year 8, it was like, oh, that's my wife. People that knew me would be like, where's your wife? It's like, we're not even married yet. But it's like, yeah, but come on, bro, like that's your wife. So I just feel like there's zero need to rush into that. But I feel like a lot of times people do. And
I've seen some people.
You hear these stories that are like, dog, like what were you thinking? Like
I've seen some girls make comments like, oh, I'm not like, because like, okay, I saw a post and it was like this guy did this really sweet thing for his partner, and they was maybe like 3 years into a relationship and they got married, whatever, it worked out for them. And then some girls are commenting, she's like, see, this is why I'm never gonna let a man convince me that like we need to date for a long time before getting married. And I was like, I understand like sometimes people can date for like a few years and like things work out for them, but it's like it works in your favor too to wait a little bit as well, because, you know, even if you're like, oh, I think 2 years is a safe window period, like who knows, maybe you guys didn't experience tragedy together. Maybe there hasn't been a loss in the family. You haven't had hardship.
Do you know how much, of course you don't know, but Selena can tell you how much just I changed over the course of like every 2 to 3 years. I was a completely different fucking guy. Luckily, it was a positive, good direction for the most part, but that ride was rough. If you saw episode 1, that's why I was comparing myself to a wooden roller coaster, because like it was rough, but I changed a lot. And like that was every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
That's like, dude, you think 2 years is enough time? Like on what basis? Like,
again, it's different for everybody, but for us, I didn't.
To me, there's just no need to rush. And if you're down to get married after year 2, maybe just like low key pretend you are. Just run your relationship like you are, and see what comes up. Because I feel like the divorce rate is just massively through the roof nowadays. And you know, whatever, to each their own. Like, do whatever you guys want, but. Hearing this is all coupled with the statement of saying like, oh, your first year of marriage is the hardest. And I'm like, dude, this is like, it's our first year technically. But...
Also, another thing is like, we got a dog we talked about this in the first podcast, but we got a dog very early on in our relationship. So like,
yeah,
you know, I'm not saying he's a kid, but like there were things that we were able to like experience.
I kind of like regret that, but at the same time don't regret that. That's one of those things that are like, oh fuck. If you could do this over again, would you throw the dog in the mix? It's like,
well, I mean,
maybe I don't know. It's hard to say. Like maybe.
But we would never have him though.
I'm not saying not us to ever have them. It's just like quantum time shift.
No,
like,
I know,
hey,
but it's.
Would you recommend when people start dating they get a dog together?
Oh yeah,
it's like maybe don't do that.
No, but in what we know now, if you were like, oh, you would, if you can go back and not have our text, but that soon, but that means you'd never get our text.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say that I wouldn't want him. He's a great dog. I'm just saying for the sake of relationship.
Oh yeah, no, we don't recommend that.
Fuck, yeah, maybe don't. We did that, and I'm saying like, yeah, maybe don't do that. It did tie us together, and we grew a lot.
It brought a lot of like moments where like, you know, I mentioned it in a sentence in the first episode, like, oh, you came home from work at like 4 a.m. sometimes, and I had him all night. And it was kind of like those kinds of things. It's like, oh, if the dad's at work all day and then he comes home and the mom's with the kid and she's tired, like, you know, those are moments where like disagreements can come about. So like we experience things like that with the dog that like, you know, it's not like if we never had him and then we ended up getting married and then have children and that's like the first time those things come up for us.
You know, also this is a good point to consider as well. Like when we met, I was 26 years old?
Probably.
And you're
22?
Okay, so yeah, I was like 26, 27, you were 22. That's relatively young, but also like I have been working on finding myself like out here in LA. Like it's not like I was somebody with like a super secure job in a company who had like security on the career front and felt stable there. Like that part of my life was very unstable. And so we didn't like some people might have that stability. Like somebody might be like, yo, this is what I went to school for. Now I'm a higher up in this position. I make good money. Like I'm stable there. That's like, oh, okay. You have like a different level of life where we were at when we first met. And I'm saying taking your time, it makes sense. Whereas someone else might feel, you know, a little differently about like.
They're like, I don't have time to waste. Like, get your shit together or like whatever. And
I guess
some women are like
that.
If
you want kids and stuff, like obviously depending on what age you meet, you know, I understand that that's like low key.
And depending on how many kids that person might want, and by the time they want to be done spreading them apart. You know, 9 months, all of that. Like it's stuff to consider.
Here's like the fast forward version. Like if you're determined to like get married really fast, like you had better prioritize like deep, meaningful conversations. Expose yourself to like, hey, we want kids. Like, okay, cool. Like what kind of a parent is bro trying to be? And is this woman trying to be a mom? Do you guys even agree or see eye to eye on parenting? Like, I remember watching a show with you. I forgot what it was called.
The Parent Test. I have it written down, but you didn't know that.
The Parent Test. You know, just sitting with her and watching that show, we didn't plan for kids at that time. We weren't really looking into it, but exposing ourselves to different parenting styles and having our own opinions about what we saw on that show showed us a lot about if we wanted to be parents, are we agreeing on how we should discipline or correct the child, or schools? Like there's just so much stuff that's like, dude, have those convos. Where do you want to live? What kind of a house do you want? Do you guys even agree on like environment and like paint fucking schemes?
Would you send them to public school, private school, homeschool?
Like for kid stuff, yeah, there's just like, there's a lot of, I feel like what I witness a lot from the negative side of like people getting married too soon and then ending up in divorce, or it's just like really bad and then they say nothing but bad stuff about it, is like, those are people who usually like went through the falling in love phase and then got married while spinning around in that phase, but like both working a lot, so not like spending a lot of time together, And then the time that they do spend together is spent like watching kind of like silly shows, whatever. No shade to Grey's Anatomy, but like you're watching stuff like that because you work so hard and you're just trying to take a break together. And it's like you're not bonding. You're not like having deep convo.
I think for some people, because of how they were raised, it's uncomfortable for them.
That's fair.
Also, unfortunately, sometimes people unfortunately, sometimes people are with a partner that's not really emotionally mature yet, and they might overreact, and the partner might be afraid to bring up certain topics because it leads to disagreements, and they don't actually feel safe expressing their feelings to the partner without like this crazy overreaction. It's like,
that's a valid point, but it's like, but I think that that's so necessary to go through.
No, it's not,
because it's like, how valuable would it be to hear from your spouse, the person you're gonna get married? We're talking about married to, saying, hey, I don't feel safe expressing my truth to you. It's like, whoa, bro, that's huge.
And then if you say that and your partner gets offended, instead of like actually taking a moment and is like, I want to understand why. How can I make you feel safe? But if your first reaction is to get angry and upset, then it's like, oh, that's not really maybe the best.
And you said emotionally mature and stuff. That's such a great point, especially for guys and shit. You know, I know we like mature later in life and stuff. And, you know, I feel like I see a lot of times this position where the couple, the heterosexual couple, straight couple, whatever, will get married, and the girl will like, they're married, but now all of a sudden the things that the guy does bothers her a lot. That's like, yeah, he comes home, he plays video games, he's always like with his friends, and he cares, like he knows all the names of the people on the sports teams, It's like, that was probably true before you got married, but now that you got married, you tell me a lot of times people's opinions about what the spouse or partner should do, like, changes.
Sometimes just the fact that they got married, it's like the partner, vice versa, the woman or man, whoever, might think like, oh, I can control them more now. It's like marriage isn't about control.
No.
It's about like accepting them who they are. Sometimes they just get annoyed with the person and tries to change them. It's like, no, you married this person for who they are, and you have to accept them for that. Yeah. And if they're starting to go a direction that wasn't the person you married, like, then maybe start to have some like nice open conversations where they're not going to be defensive and like, you know, don't bring it up in like maybe the heated moment or whatever, because of course they're going to get defensive. Like, I'm not saying tiptoe around them and everything, but just like be sensitive to how you would respond if the situation was reversed and the way they bring it up to you. And also, I just want to say, like, we've been married for a year, and we're not saying we're experts or anything. It's just like we've had a lot of communication over the years, and like I feel like
a lot. It's
gone so strong, and like, you know, we've had these conversations, but even to this level, it hasn't been it just keeps getting better, I guess, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
and all of this, like the point I'm trying to make is like, that's why I feel like just take your time with it. Like, there's no rush.
Like I actually don't feel like we get super, like we don't have crazy fights anymore.
No,
like, but there are things to disagree about. There definitely are things that come up.
We have had conversations on like how we prefer each other to disagree.
And like also even like, within our therapist, like she's brought up like ways like to like playfully turn a heated moment into like I don't know, just like how to do it. Sometimes people do things like they use voices to kind of like, and you do that sometimes too, like to diffuse a situation. Like, there's this Elmo. Elmo.
She freaking loved. I saw this meme on Instagram or something one time, and it was this Elmo character driving a car, but it was basically making fun of like
female drivers.
The guy passenger with the female driver, and the Elmo character is just like, fuck you, get away from me. Like, but like really the Elmo driver was like the one that was horrible at driving.
Yeah, the cat. I think there's a cat in passenger
seat. And Selena like loved that meme
because
so
she's
much.
Like, cat, or Elmo's like, California girls, fuck you. Yeah. So like sometimes we might get a little like
I do the
snappy.
I do the Elmo voice sometimes when it's like, all right, like let's not take this so seriously. Like we're just playing around.
So like he'll be like, and like, you know, people have to identify in their relationship what works for them. Some people are like, oh, I find it so disrespectful if my husband were to ever call me bitch or fuck you or whatever. Like, but like, it's like, obviously I'm not saying you call me a bitch, but I'm just like, you say fine and cute. And I'm like, oh, I don't take any offense to that, because to me, I'm like, oh.
Well, if I'm doing the Elmo voice. Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, in that context, of course.
Yeah.
But it's like someone else, that might not even work for them, because they might be like, no, that's still a boundary that I'm not comfortable with them saying.
That's fine. Yeah, I think just have the combo.
You need to be able to know what your partner is and isn't willing to accept.
And I feel like the point I was making earlier also is like 2 or 3 years for me, I was a different guy. 2 or 3 years ago, still considerably a fairly different guy. And what I'm trying to point out is like, I've grown a lot. I've spent a lot of time getting to know myself. And I feel like a lot of people do not prioritize that. Like most people don't really know themselves. They start to, like, as life occurs, maybe discover themselves more and more. But when you're locked into a marriage and with someone else who's also maybe going through that,
learning themselves,
like, man, you guys might discover that, like, yo, you don't like each other as much as you thought. Maybe you don't like yourself as much as you thought. And that's like a really powerful thing that a person can go through, and that Selena and I have both gone through. Specifically for me, I feel like I'm the one who had to go through a lot of changes. Not that Selena hasn't changed in a positive direction either, but like definitely I'm the one that had a lot of rough edges to work out. And I had to just like focus on myself, but I feel like that was a good thing, that like she was there to support me with that. And that really built a foundation for her and I, and for me to feel like, wow, this is really like the woman I want to be with. She's already shown me so much support and like, and love, and allowing me to become, luckily, a better and better version of myself. But that path is hard. And I'm just saying, I feel like a lot of people honestly need to just like know themselves so much more before you really commit to something like a marriage. Otherwise, don't get married. I know people that haven't gotten married and they've been together for like 10 plus years. Fine. Do that. That's like my whole point is like, bro, you guys have known each other for like a year, 2 years. Like, chill. It's all good. If you're not going anywhere, you're not going anywhere.
Good
Just
point.
keep working on stuff.
I see your point.
And fair. Yeah. I like that. And to that point also, like, I can obviously recognize that over the course of time in history, certain people's relationships, they did get married within 3 weeks of knowing each other, whatever. And it's worked out great. And it's like, you know, those are the odd ones out. I feel like that's not common.
And we're happy that works for you.
I am happy that works for them. Yeah. But you know, divorce rates are through the freaking roof, and relationships are
what?
Relationships. Fuck. Relationships are.
That is a tough one. I said that weird. Damn it.
Rough out there, man. And relationships with yourself are rough, dude. There's no rush.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's next on the docket?
Well,
Sheriff?
We've been talking for an hour. Does it feel like an hour?
Yeah, I figured it was like around that amount of time. We've been ripping, so maybe we should
we're going to wrap it up with our quote and question stuff, but I just want to bring this up really quick because it did happen last week when, you know, you were having like a kind of a bad day, whatever, on one of the days, or just like you were in one of your moods.
It's incredible how much I've worked on myself and how far I've come, and I still have like really bad lows.
Well, sure. Yes, but you were at the gym, and then one of the guys at the gym was like, oh, it's wrong. And then he automatically assumes, and he's like, the wife.
Oh, yeah.
And this is no shade to him. It just was like
no, I won't say his name.
Yeah, no. But it reminded me of how and I don't know if you would care that you repeated that to me, but it's just interesting how like that is what a lot of sources of like problems is for people, is like their partner. And
that's true.
You were like, no.
It was very obvious to that person that I was down and like having a hard time. And so I found it interesting that his first assumption was, what's wrong? Something with the wife? That I was like, oh, my thought process was like, wow, that's interesting that that's what you would have thought right away, the wife. But it's like, in reality, like, no, we're pretty fucking good, to be honest. Something else, but
yeah,
you know, I thought
and I was like, well, did you tell him? Did you tell him I'm not?
Yeah, I mean, I did. I did tell him like, no, we're good. Me and her.
Yeah, no,
we're great. That's not the problem.
But anyhow, it just reminded me of that. So I tasked you out with, because so I mentioned in episode 1 we're going to end it with a quote that I saw during the week that I wanted to bring up, and then a quote that you wanted to bring up, and then you're in charge of bringing the question to the audience.
Shoot, I'm going to have to off-top the question.
Because he forgot it.
I wrote it on a piece of paper, and I don't all the way remember the question, but we'll see. One will come to me, hopefully.
Okay, you go with your quote first.
Okay, luckily I remember the quote because that's also written down beneath the question, but the quote I wrote down, there's just so many good ones. I'm going to probably say this every episode because I just freaking love quotes so much. I like how powerful they are and short they are, and they just really make me think. But I read this quote that said, you cannot teach a man anything. You can only help him see it in himself. And I was like, damn, that is so poetic and like beautifully said. That's like, damn, that's kind of true. Can't teach anyone anything. Like, you can only help them to see that thing in themselves. I just thought, wow, that was really, really well said.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have 2 here and struggling to figure out which one. I'm not going to read them both. I'll save the other for next week. But it's not always that we need to do more, but rather we need to focus on less. Did I read that weird? It sounds weird.
Oh, yeah. No, that's cool. I like that.
It's not always that we need to do more, but rather that we need to focus on less.
Yeah, that's cool. I like ones that have like how do you describe it? There's like a breathingness to it. Like, oh, it starts with the word more, but it actually ends with the word less, which is like the opposite type of a word. I'm not sure what you would call those, but
well,
I like
obviously
do that.
Like the antonym, but that's not what you're saying.
Yeah.
But so, and it kind of reminded me of like you were talking, or it's not the same thing, but it reminded me of earlier in the car you were talking about like, oh, sometimes people have weaknesses and sometimes people have strengths. So instead of maybe sometimes trying to like strengthen your weakness, you just like make your strength stronger.
Wow, you said that fast, which was kind of a tongue twistery of a sentence, but you nailed it.
Thank you.
But yeah, I was talking about. I've been listening to like a lot of Alex Hormozy lately. Guy's freaking awesome, incredible. He's just like a modern philosopher at this point. But yeah, he was talking about that and making the point that he's like, a lot of people will notice, like you said, like their weaknesses, things that they suck at. And like they're bothered by that.
I need to get better at it.
And need to like spend time improving that. And from like a business standpoint or like whatever, it's kind of like, dude, don't even waste the time trying to fix that shit. Just double down on what you're already good at and become like undeniably excellent at that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can always find someone else that the thing that you suck at to like delegate that to, or that can complement you.
Mm-hmm. And I know that wasn't my quote. My quote was that it's not always that we need to do more, but rather we need to focus on less. So it's like, it's kind of different than what that is.
I think it's because when you focus on less, it's like when you focus on more, you feel that you need to do more. But it's like, oh, you're only led to feel that way because you're focusing on so much more, when it's like, the point of the quote is like focus on less and kind of just hone in on that, because sometimes stuff can get so complicated and muddy. That's a good quote. I never heard that one before.
It's Nathan W. Morris. I don't know what that is.
I'm not sure. My bad too. Sometimes the quotes that I remember, like I don't like half the time remember who said it. Most of the time it's going to be like a Stoic philosopher, but sometimes it's not. Fuck, what was my quote? What did I say, dude?
You just said it.
I just friggin' said it.
Severed toe, you just said it.
Damn.
All right, whatever. I was trying to help you quote the person.
I know.
All right, what's your question for the audience?
My question for the audience? Bro.
Are you trying to stall because you didn't remember what you wrote down?
I guess this will just be like a toss away type of a question, but it is a good one. But it's like, do you really know yourself? Like, I think in some of the future episodes, I'm really excited to do this with you. We have to get a whiteboard. But in an effort to help me get to know myself, and same with Selena, we're both going to do it together. But there's several tests that you can do and take to just make an effort to learn more about yourself. I think one of them is called the Myers-Briggs test. That's like a personality test.
There's like the Gottman Institute relationship check-in that I
Gottman Institute, right? You mentioned that one.
About like marriage and successful marriages and everything. And so obviously we're dedicated to always, like, one of the foundations of our marriage or just our relationship in general is like personal individual growth, but like growth as a couple. Yeah, growth individually, but also as a couple. And I think one of the reasons I guess I'll say I think a lot of the reasons why sometimes marriages don't work is because one partner ends up growing and being really successful and making improvements in their life, and the other one isn't really there with it, and one wants to force the other one, and you can't force the other person to do. You can't force the other person and to so do they have to want to do it naturally, and that could really be like a point of contention, and that's really unfortunate. Yeah. So I'm glad that that's something that we have together. Yeah, same. Take a freaking test about your personality, about your love language. Do you even know that? Like, what's your love language? Like, how do you express? Maybe you're not even in a relationship right now, but you want one. I see a lot of people who want a relationship. And I know there's a lot of people that like debunk the value of like, oh, love languages. It doesn't matter. It's like whether or not you think that those are like a huge thing to know in your relationship. I still think it's interesting to, like, you know, maybe someone who hasn't really been romantically involved, but wants to be involved could go like, oh, well, how do I show up for my partner? Like, which ways do I want to, which ways is it easy for me to receive love and show love? Because I find that like, oh, I tend to do like acts of, I know we're like keep talking, but anyway, receiving and accepting is a little bit different because I like physical touch from you, but that doesn't necessarily come naturally to me. I'm more like acts of service to you, but I like receiving physical touch, you know? So anyway, we can get into that later. There's a lot of tests that we're going to take for fun because I like getting to know myself more, and we're going to both go through our answers on the other end and what we experience, what we discover along the way. And so that way you guys can feel like you're not just like solo doing it by yourself. And like for the sake of time, we'll do it on our own and then we'll come show you the results because it'll take way too long to do it live. Yeah, it will. Some of the tests can take some time, but so what, dude? You're talking about spending time getting to know yourself. Like the level of relationship that we should be having with ourselves is just like not highlighted nowadays. And I feel like it's a really key component that is causing a lot of like low-key secret suffering in relationships and just individually. So I'm promoting that. I look forward to doing that. I'm actually excited. I love doing stuff like that. And that's the end of episode 2. That's the end. So we're out of here. Bye. I'm just kidding. Sorry. It's okay. That was fun. Hey, did it feel like an hour and 25 minutes or 20 something minutes? Around there. I mean, my eyes feel tired. I'm wearing my contacts right now, and It's 1 in the morning,
Oh,
and I forgot that I showered with my contacts on earlier.
I think we're both also like not used to these lights being on us, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
And follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube if you're listening on Apple, Spotify, or any of the streaming platforms. Thank you. We are also on YouTube.
Yep.
And
we pay attention. Dude, 13 people watched our first episode. Like, that might sound like a small number, but it made us feel pretty good.
So we're going to get 26. Let's double it.
Thank you for your support. Drop some comments. Did we get comments last time on the first video?
I want to say yes, but no.
Dude, yeah.
I want to say yes.
Be the first comment. Like, we're gonna read it. It's us doing it. So we appreciate that. That's fun. It's exciting.
All right, I guess let's do our clap. Let's do our high five, our clap.
Are we doing it?
Yeah, but I'm kind of scared because we did the first one pretty great. Okay, hold on. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, that was good.
Do another one.
Okay, 1.
We're gonna get that pop.
I know we didn't. Our hands met.
Yeah.
But it didn't. It
was more like a fist.
Remember
punch.
in the car when you slap?
Oh yeah, I can clap like a gunshot.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that one stung a little more, but that was the pop we needed.
All right. Well.